What should I do in Outlands today? Sometimes YouTube comments are strange. As someone who posts regularly on YouTube and streams gameplay 2 to 3 times a week, I'm used to the occasional troll, disgruntled viewer, or person who disagrees with my opinion or video, or just flat out rude comment. It kind of comes with the gig, right? But sometimes people say the darndest things. These were those. The first comment reads, "It's fun if you're chasing nostalgia and you enjoy grinding the same monsters in the same dungeon just to have more damage against the same monsters in the same dungeon. I tried for 6 months and realized it's more of a compulsive disorder than it is enjoyable." Another comment reads, "I played UO in 1997. The game is still good, but it's almost just endless farming and cosmetics game, which becomes tiresome." Now, there's a lot to break down in those comments, but it led me to think, do people think that all you do in Outlands is just endless farming? So with that, guys, sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about it. Once again, rather than breaking down everything wrong about those comments, let's explore all the different things to do in Outlands. Starting out with the obvious one, the same one that the comment mentioned, killing monsters. Outside of the 10 basic dungeons, each with a mini-boss and a main boss, there are 253 points of interest, all of which have monsters to farm from, ranging in gold from dropping just a few gold coins to thousands of gold. In terms of killing monsters, there is also Time Dungeon. This is wild. It's a dungeon crawl experience for in-game players, filled with very difficult bosses, traps, and even multiple quest lines with rewards. This is really cool. You actually need a decent party filled with melee people, healers, and mages. It's awesome. Check it out. Let's say you're more of a PvP guy, though. You're not into killing monsters. It's just not your thing. That's totally okay. There is obviously those that are running around those said POIs, points of interest, or dungeons and murdering other players, whether it be solo or in a group of other murderers. There are a few guilds who actually specialize in PKing other players as well. Aside from that, there are specialized PvP events as follows. There's the town struggles, which break you up into 2 teams, chaos or order, and you gain points by sitting on different landmarks in the town as well as killing opposing team members. The game alternates each time whether it's going to be mounted combat or unmounted combat. Then there's dungeon flashpoints, which, honestly, they're pretty similar to town struggles, but they are more guild and alliance based, while having the flavor of level 1 dungeon monsters in there as well. It gets pretty hectic and pretty fun. Then there's Corpse Creek Contest. This is mounted combat at Corpse Creek. The goal is to be as close to the control point platform while killing enemy players of an opposing guild and alliance. Stygian Rifts are ELO ranked 3v3 PvP with dungeon monsters and traps. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised this isn't a more popular event. This really, along with the next PvP event we will speak on, are where you can carry the most bragging rights home with you. And what is that event, you ask? It's the arena. Set your template as you wish and duel it out. This is where PvPers are really made. It's just you and the other guy or guys. There's a Discord for duels off tournament time, but very often the GMs set up 1v1 tournaments as well as 2v2 tournaments. Furthermore, every year during King's Fair, there is a cash reward to the top 3 of this event. Then there's also contested bosses. This is really cool. This turns the entire boss area into a lawless zone. And then the boss actually drops links for your mastery chain. Also, there are bragging rights between the guilds of who secured the boss and the boss loot. This obviously gets very heated in the PvP channel of the Discord. Then there's factions. This is a 4-team matchup that's ongoing. The point is to capture points and steal the enemy faction's flag, gaining silver, which unlocks some of the coolest rewards in the game, like the Aspect Triumph, Mount Armor, and the cosmetic sword on the hip, plus a whole bunch more, even house deco. Thieving. Now, this is obviously my favorite form of content on Outlands. They recently reduced the cooldown on stealing to 5 seconds, and you can also steal while carrying a shield, making dungeon stealing even more fun. The sheer amount of people playing the server makes it the best stealing experience I've ever had in any form of UO. No cap, as the children say. If you're not much for land, then you might love being a pirate out at sea. Ocean content is some of the most lucrative content out there. It giveth and it taketh. Crews sometimes selling upwards of 20 million gold in a completely lawless area. Upgrading your crew members as they gain an experience, as well as finding the best upgrades for your ship out there. This also has a mini boss as well as a main boss that is oftentimes fought over by everyone out at sea. Moving on to treasure mapping. This is another high yield activity. Decoding maps, finding the location, digging up the treasure, and then killing the monsters and looting everything from the monsters you killed, as well as the treasure chest itself, obviously. There's also a lore note system utilizing research materials, which essentially becomes somewhat of a trading card game to find the right pages for a book, turning those into a level 8 treasure map that a more difficult boss spawns in that T-map, this yielding the most treasure as well as a mastery chain link. On the topic of treasure chests, the dungeons are littered with different treasure chests. This is what people call lockpickers. The value of what's inside these treasure chests is increasing in value as you go deeper into the dungeon. This has actually become somewhat competitive over the years, with lockpickers going for both speed as well as some even trying to get other lockpickers killed by the monsters of the dungeon. Some players actually find relaxation and enjoyment from harvesting wood or iron. They either sell these resources for a fair amount of gold, or they actually convert it into weapons, armor, or other useful in-game objects. Then they sell these items on the buy-sell channels of a Discord or a vendor at their favorite vendor mall. Pwn Holla. Did you know that there's actually a casino? You can test your luck at the casino by playing poker with other players or burn through your money for a potential to win the jackpot in Monster Shuffle. Monster Shuffle also has a chance to spit out a Monster Shuffle rare. I've seen some of these jackpots get really wild. We're talking like triple-digit millions. It's insane. Bomberman, you didn't think I'd leave this out, did you? That's right, the classical game we all know and love is here on Outlands. Challenge up to 7 of your friends and laugh about blowing each other up. This is so much fun. I urge you to go and play this with your friends. It's super fun. Monthly staff events. I say monthly because it really is almost monthly. Just about each month a new event is going on, whether it be hoping for a rare job to gain access into a special area and gain event score, or the upcoming King's Fair, which is an in-game carnival filled with games, rides, foods, prizes, and community shenanigans. Periodically, there's even a joust that a golden lance is given to the winner, as well as a boxing tournament with a tournament WWE style belt. We all know what the real endgame is. Outlands has really outdone themselves in terms of deco for your inn and house. The attention to detail Outlands has seems to have flown over into the intricate details of clothing and house decoration. You can get these items from the staff events as well as the prep vendor that changes very regularly. So much that Deco has generated quite the conversation over in the Outlands Discord, and it has its own channel respectively. Then there's the community events. You can't sleep on these. The community is rich with activity. I myself hosted back in May a costume contest. Typically every few months I bring to the community a new contest or event with prizes donated by other members of the community and myself. I'm not alone in this. The streamer community oftentimes hosts events, and as does the RP community. The Urks hosted a critter clomp. That was a lot of fun. Basically, we all got our most fiercest dragons and fought them like a Pokemon battle. The winner going away with all the spoils of wars and the prizes. Which brings me to the vastly large community of role players Outlands has. Seemingly endless with events going on. Everything from pub crawls to fierce PvP battles, ending with one role-playing faction winning a territory or important object over another. This one's not necessarily in-game, but I still wanted to bring it up. Community conversation. The Outlands Discord is filled with conversation, both about Outlands and just general things in life. The same can be said about different sub-communities in Outlands. For instance, my Discord boasting 3,500 members in it while staying decently active. My point in speaking to this is it's easy to stay connected even while playing other games, at work, or going about your daily lives. If I've left anything out, please comment below. This video definitely was longer than I expected it to be, but as I started thinking about it, I realized just how much content there is to do here on Outlands. As I'm speaking right now, I can think of other things too, but at the same time, let's just end it here and you guys tell me those things. I can sympathize though with anyone who spends the entire time playing in the dungeon, farming the same circle over and over of monsters. I think most will find longer enjoyment if they try to dabble in multiple forms of gameplay here on Outlands, rather than 100% of the time focusing on just player progression in terms of chain experience, similar to the experience you would have in other MMORPGs. I feel like that's a conversation that this video could be extremely long, but either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to the Patreons, the channel members, the subscribers, and you for liking this video, as it helps for discoverability for myself, but more importantly, UO Outlands and my fellow streamers. Speaking of streaming, make sure and join me on the live streams most evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, as well as Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Kick. That's right, 5 different platforms for you to choose from. Other than that, guys, as always, I'll see you in Outlands. Pwn Star Gaming out.